Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to explore the top 10 low-cost index fund and ETFs that you should consider for your investment portfolio. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, these funds can be a valuable addition to your financial strategy. But before we delve into our list, let's first understand why index funds have gained so much popularity. The ongoing debate of actively managed funds versus index funds in the investment industry has led to a shift in favor of the latter. Actively managed funds rely on strategies or quantitative rules to try and outperform benchmarks, while index funds simply replicate the holdings of an index. To shed some light on this, let's look at some compelling statistics from the S&P Dow Jones Indices SPDR scorecard. As of December 31, 2022, a staggering 93.4% of large-cap funds underperformed the S&P 500 over the past 15 years. This data underscores the difficulty of consistently outperforming the market. So, what's the solution? Well, as finance professor Robert Johnson suggests, it's all about keeping it simple and investing in index funds. These funds can help you control risks, minimize expenses, and avoid the stress of picking individual stocks. Now, let's jump into our list of the 10 best low-cost index funds and ETFs, arranged from the more expensive to the cheapest. 1. Invesco Optimum Yield Diversified Commodity Strategy No K1 ETF. This fund offers exposure to commodities and has a net expense ratio of 0.59%. 2. SPDR S&P 500 ETF Trust. Next up, we have the SPDR S&P 500 ETF Trust, which has an expense ratio of 0.0945%. It's the first U.S. ETF, with an AUM of roughly $420 billion. 3. Vanguard Total World Stock Index Fund Admiral Shares. For mutual fund enthusiasts, the Vanguard Total World Stock Index Fund Admiral Shares offers access to over 9,500 global stocks at an expense ratio of 0.1%. 4. SPDR Portfolio MSCI Global Stock Market ETF. If you prefer ETFs for global exposure, the ETF charges a 0.09% expense ratio and includes over 2,500 market-weighted stocks from around the world. 5. Vanguard Balanced Index Fund Admiral Shares. The Vanguard Balanced Index Fund Admiral Shares, with its 60/40 allocation, has an expense ratio of 0.07%. It tracks both the CRSP US Total Market Index and the Bloomberg US Aggregate Float Adjusted Index. 6. Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund Admiral Shares. Expanding beyond the S&P 500, this fund offers exposure to mid and small cap stocks with an expense ratio of 0.04%. 7. iShares US Treasury Bond ETF. For lower risk bonds, consider the iShares US Treasury Bond ETF, which holds A-rated US Treasuries. It has an expense ratio of 0.05%. 8. Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. Dividend investors can benefit from the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, which tracks quality dividend stocks at a 0.06% expense ratio. 9. BNY Mellon Core Bond ETF. Now, moving to the bond side, the BNY Mellon Core Bond ETF offers a diversified bond portfolio with a 0% expense ratio. It tracks the Bloomberg US Aggregate Bond Index. 10. Fidelity 500 Index Fund. Last but not least, for those seeking low-cost exposure to the S&P 500, the fund tops the list with an incredibly low expense ratio of just 0.015%. And there you have it, our list of the top 10 low-cost index funds and ETFs, arranged from the more expensive to the cheapest. Remember, when it comes to investing, simplicity and cost-effectiveness often lead to better results. Do your research, consult with a financial advisor, and build a portfolio that aligns with your financial goals. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more finance-related content, and hit that notification bell to stay updated. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.